Well, good evening, everyone. Michael Soothing here. Today I thought I would let you observe while I attempt to make an anniversary gift for Joanne. Now, Joanne is unique in that she does not want jewelries. She does not want perfume. She does not want flowers or candy. She doesn't want clothes. She doesn't want objects for the home. She doesn't want any of that kind of thing. But what she appreciates is homemade gifts. So I thought I would make her basically a epoxy plexiglass coaster for the table, a couple of them actually. And so this is going to be, it may be a fail, guys, I don't know. But I'm going to put things in it, like things we've collected and tumbled. I have a variety of agates and jaspers here we found at the coast on the beach, including this nice druzy crystal thing. I'm going to embed that into our coaster. I'm going to embed a little gold foil, which, as you can see, it may turn into a fail because as soon as I tried to experiment with it, it's stuck and I can't get it off. So I'm going to have to make kind of an artistic design with it and hope that it looks okay before the final product. But if this doesn't work well on a first attempt, then I will remake on a second or a third attempt, because you can pop these out of the mold. It's this stuff. I have to mix it. This 2-part clear drying epoxy. I have to mix it after we put our objects in here that we're going to embed in our table coaster. She appreciates homemade gifts pretty much only, so that's what I'm going to try to make. So we have our objects to put in there. We have some beads over here we can use for decorative purpose, and our gold foil. And of course, since it's anniversary and all, I'm going to put a photo of us in the middle, right there. So let's see if we can do something artistic with this. Now that I know this stuff sticks everywhere, I'm going to try to just put some around the perimeter as an accent and hope it doesn't look too tacky. Now that I already had a glop of it, that looks like it may or may not look tacky in the finished product. I don't know. Gold foil. If it looks tacky in the finished product, I'll remake this. I'll have to print out another photo from the photo printer and redo everything. But of course the problem there is I'm not going to have all of my little objects. So if I don't like the look of it, I may just start over, because you can't get this stuff off once you put it on there. I assume it will stick to the epoxy and come off after this cures. So I'm just going to put some around the perimeter here and there. Tell me, guys, if you think this is just terribly tacky. I don't know how it's going to look as a final product. Maybe I should have just put it around the photo or something. So I'm not so thrilled. You know, I like things to be very symmetrical. And this is going to be kind of an Art Nouveau asymmetrical thing when you get this stuff in there. Joanne likes gold, so gold foil is okay, but maybe I should have come up with a better method. I don't want it to have any air bubbles, because you don't want air bubbles in the epoxy. Once you pour it, you try to get rid of the air bubbles. So I'm trying to flatten this stuff. All right, let's see. Maybe a little bit more up here. Oh, guys, I kind of wish I had skipped the foil. But maybe the finished product will be okay. I don't know. I don't know. I hope she doesn't think this is like 1960s gold lame Badui or something. All right, let's see what we can do with this when we start adding stuff to it. I have some little shells somewhere too that I want to make one for her. I have more than one type of mold. I have this heart also, which I'm going to find another photo for and make her this one, heart-shaped coaster. I think that'll do it for the gold foil for now. I've done enough damage for one day with that. Oh, now it's stuck to the bottom there. Okay, so let's place our photo. And then I gotta ask myself, is this gonna be just terribly tacky or what? Maybe I should have done, you know what I should have done is maybe some dried flowers or something, greenery. I might try that in the future. Oh, I can't believe my computer's gonna make that noise while I'm doing this. Hold on, guys, I'm gonna go and silence it. All right, you know what I can do is if this first one turns out okay, if this, I'm going the wrong way, if this first one turns out okay, as far as just the liquid pour and how it cures, I can make another one with the heart mold that doesn't have any gold foil in it. And maybe she'll like that better, but meanwhile, let's see what we can do to add some color objects to this thing. We'll put some agates in here. Jaspers, actually, in this case. If you put a light colored agate in like this, the problem is this is more like a carnelian agate. You can see it's kind of translucent, but the problem with it is it tends to kind of disappear in epoxies and things, so I'm a little concerned about that, but I think she'll appreciate a few stones in here because we both love to collect things at the beach. I've got to find a few little shells for the next one I do, but we'll put a few stones in, and then let's see what else we can put in here that would be interesting. How about some blue and green beads? Orange or clear will disappear. Maybe some red. Some red beads around the edge. I'm going to save this thing for the heart one because I think she'll really like that. We'll put some red beads over there. And over there. If she decides this is tacky, now someone's texting me. Whenever I start making a video, then all the noise begins. So, you know, I gotta silence my phone also. Silence the phone. Okay. Put some orange beads down here. How about carnival glass that has different colors? We'll put a couple of those in here. I have to make sure that doesn't rise above the surface. I gotta eyeball it from below. That's a little too high. You've got to make sure it's not going to go above the surface of your pour. And that one would. So we're going to skip those. And instead, we'll get some of these carnival glass beads that are small and do those around the edge. Boy, I don't know, guys. This is a first attempt at something like this. Kind of wish I'd have thought it through a little bit better. Maybe I'll do one with dried leaves, dried flowers, things like that. I hate to make the same thing for her for Christmas that I do for anniversary, though. That would be a drag. Let's see here. Put something there. This is going to be quite a... I think what I need to do is try to make it look like a perimeter. Of course, when I start pouring the epoxy in, it's going to try to push everything out of the way, isn't it? But we can try to do this anyway. Make kind of a perimeter. Some of this will stay in place because the silicone mold, things kind of stick to it really well. So we'll try it. We'll try it and see what happens. All right, I don't quite trust everything, but I'll do it a whole different way when I do the heart one. Yeah, not sure I'll show you that one because I'm already embarrassed about the effects of this one. I'm not sure I like it too much. But let's put a couple of green beads in here too for some color. There and there. Glass beads. I think she likes red. I think we need more red. I'll do that in the next one that I do. Now comes the trickiest part of all. And that's mixing our stuff and pouring it in there and then trying to get rid of all the bubbles by pricking them with these little tweezers here or any other object like a pin, because you always have a problem with bubbles. Now I have this mixing cup because you have to do exactly 50% of each solution, both the acrylic, epoxy, and the hardener. So I can go 4 ounces here, I can go 4 ounces, and then with half of it, and then go up to the 8 ounce mark for the rest. I'm going to do it on this plate so that I don't get confused and I don't make a mess, just in case. I'll just rotate this around. I'm afraid to shake it, it'll have bubbles. But I'll twist it like this for a while. Has anybody else ever tried to make something like this? It's supposed to cure at 72 degrees. Oh no, that's not what it says. It says cure for 72 hours. Where will I put this where she can't see it for 72 hours? I'm not sure. I'll have to find a place. Alright, let's do our pour. We have to take this top off. Uh-oh, it's one of these things where it's got an impossible seal on it that's really hard to get off. I may have to get a knife or something for that. Use my tweezers and puncture that and peel it off. I'm supposed to wear finger cuts for this, because now this is going to get all over. And you're not supposed to get it on yourself, right? So I'll take that off, out of the way, as much as I can. I'm trying to get this foil seal off of here. And it's not so easy, guys. And I definitely don't want to drop this in any way or spill any, because good luck cleaning it up if you do that. So since I'm a bit klutzy, I've got to be very, very careful. I'm going to put that foil here and try to wipe these tweezers off as best I can. Now that that one is open, we'll try to open the other one. Ooh, don't spill that. Do everything in your power to not spill it. Now this one already has a glop of something. Put that there. And then we'll peel this back with the tweezers. Come on, foil. Don't give me trouble. There's enough trouble in life already. I've had a lot of disasters lately, guys. Alright. But I don't want to bore you with my tales of woe. Some other time. It's still too fresh in my mind. Alright, this one is epoxy hardener. So we're going to put in the epoxy first. Very carefully here. We're going to pour it to the 4-ounce mark roughly. It's very thick, this epoxy. Alright, let's taper it off. It's almost to the 4-ounce mark. Oh, I think we're going to do this without making a giant mess. But we do have some bubbles. I think I should have poured it down the side. Also, I should be using a face mask or something, just as if I was outside protecting from COVID. Because this stuff is not stuff you're really supposed to breathe. But I do have the aircon on, and it's blowing this way. Alright, I got a little bit more than 4 ounces there. So I'm going to have to do a little bit more than 8 when I put the hardener in. Yay, this is pouring in fast. Equal parts, it says. I think that's just about 50-50, guys. Now, let me find the top for this so I don't spill it. There's a lot of this in these two big containers, 32 ounces in each. Now we need to stir this, but we need to stir it kind of slowly so we don't create a lot of bubbles. And so I'm just going to mix it and hope that I don't get. Now we're going to do this for at least 2 or 3 minutes. Because I can tell you that when I was in the electronics business, aerospace, rocket science, I saw some serious failures take place with components when there were two-part epoxies used, and people either measured it wrong, or they didn't mix it long enough and thorough enough, or they didn't cure it correctly. There are many, many variables when you're attaching chip devices inside RF microwave paths and things like that. I can remember a microwave actuating switch incident where we had hundreds of switches that had to be rebuilt, and they were very expensive switches. They're a large device, like this big, and not quite what you would imagine when I say switch. It's a great big thing that rotates for an RF path, and it has devices inside of it to improve the RF characteristics, radio frequency characteristics, and they had attached components inside. And this particular supplier of switches had done a good job for many years, but they decided to save money by outsourcing to another supplier who would do the manufacturing and assembly for them, including attaching the little device, chip devices, ferrites, and so forth, with the two-part epoxy. Well, lo and behold, that supplier didn't have a good procedure defining how it should be done. So they were only mixing the stuff for, say, 30 seconds and not doing it properly, and the epoxy started to fail. When we went through thermal cycling operational testing, going hot and going cold, you have to do that many times with space equipment to make sure it's going to work out there in space when the satellite is going to get hot and cold. Because it's hot on the launch pad, it's cold in space, there's vibration from the launch and the rocket, the satellite goes into eclipse periodically on one side of the Earth and gets cold, then it's exposed to the sun, it rotates around the Earth with a rotational period that's the same as one Earth revolution, meaning to our eye, the satellite stays in place in the sky, in the same spot, if you could see it, which you cannot without a telescope. With a telescope, you can see some of them, the ones that are doing direct broadcast and so forth. All right, we're mixing and mixing and mixing. But the really tricky part is going to be flowing this stuff into our mold and hoping we get enough in there that we don't have to mix another batch of this. Because if we do, we're really going to have a problem with bubbles. I don't know if this is going to be enough or not. I think I want to make it a little flatter, so I'm going to take this out because I don't want to have to go up too high with the mix. I'm going to take a couple of these things out of there since this is such a large volume, and see if we have enough. All right. Now we're going to do the hardest part. We'll get all our debris and stuff here. Oh, I hope I don't have to mix more of this because it's going to make bubbles. I'm going to start pouring right into the center so it can slowly spread out. And see how we do. So far, so good. Things aren't getting moved too much. But I don't think this is quite enough. Or is it? Oh, I think I have everything covered, so I think it's just about right. I think it is enough. Yep, it's almost to the surface. Success, guys. I'm thrilled. I don't know if she'll be thrilled, but I'm thrilled that at least we're going to have a viable... Wow. Now, how am I going to move this? I can't leave it here on the table for 72 hours to cure. So I didn't think this through very well, did I? Because she's outside doing yard work and watering and so forth. And I'm going to have to figure out a way how to move this on a flat surface into a different room. I think I've come up with a plan. I think what I can do is take this entire placemat and very carefully slide it onto a little table I have and put it in the spare bedroom with strict instructions that she doesn't get to go in there. You're supposed to run a fan over the surface of this thing to make the little bubbles go away. So far, there's no really bad bubbles. There's some tiny ones. You're supposed to use a little heat gun to remove some of those. I may try that. I might try the heat gun and see if that will work. I don't know. I don't want our picture to be totally covered in bubbles. So I'm going to have to figure something out. Let's see, a candle won't do it. I don't know if we have some kind of a hairdryer around here. I'll have to ask her. But first I'll have to get this away from where it is. I need a needle, is what I need to poke any bubbles coming up. I see one there to poke, and I see one there. Let's see if I can find a sharp, pointy object. Hold on. Look, I found like a clothespin type thing right here. So I can use the needle end of it to poke the bubbles and get rid of them. Not the tiniest ones though, but that one I poked. Got rid of that one. So this works pretty good. Sometimes you have to be persistent with it. Not sure how to get rid of the micro bubbles, but I'm getting some of the bigger ones. This is a work in progress. I don't know if she's going to like this. She'll like that it's handmade, or, made from scratch, whatever you want to say. But I don't know if she'll like the effect with the gold leaf. I don't know. I'm not doing that again with the heart one. Gonna do something different. Okay, gonna move this very carefully into the bedroom and put it in a place where she won't be allowed to look. And maybe I'll find a heat gun source to try to get the tiny surface bubbles off. So that's gonna be it, guys, for this video, other than a sip of water. Joanne's going on a trip soon to the Philippines, as I told you in the last 2 videos. The Balikbayan box that we filled with stuff, I think weighs about 140 pounds. It's very heavy. It's as if it was filled with lead. Somebody asked me, if they like Spam in the Philippines, why are you buying cans of it here to send there since they have it there to buy? Why go to the trouble of shipping that massive weight and all the other stuff? That's a very good question. It's the very kind of question that I ask Joanne. But you're not going to get an answer to that question if you ask. Not one that makes sense to the U.S. mindset. So, it's kind of like a way of showing love and respect for family members. When they send stuff, you would have to understand the culture of the Philippines. My hands aren't very steady, so when I carry this to the bedroom, I'm very concerned about whether I'm going to tip it. It has to stay perfectly level. That's going to be a tricky business, but I'm going to try to do it. Because it's pretty much the pour got right up to the surface, to the rim, about where I want it to be. I'm looking for more bubbles. I don't see any. Oh no, I do see one. I see another naughty little bubble right there. Come on, go away. Ah, finally got it. That little rascal didn't want to be popped. Here's one here. Got that one. Here's one here. See, the problem is this will continue to form bubbles for some time, and I'll have to keep hunting for them and popping them. Maybe I should leave this here for a while. What if I just made a little box and put over this and told her she can't look under the box? I don't know if that would work. Could I trust her to not peek? I don't know. I didn't. She made me something and made me not peek, and I didn't. So I don't want dust to be in the room either, because dust will get into this. So I'm going to have to, there's a lot of wind blowing. I'm going to have to leave the windows closed. Alright, I'm going to try to move this and keep it perfectly flat. Good luck to me. Don't ASMR and drive, everybody. Until next time, take care. Bye-bye.